know what? I gotta make my first guest on the show today on a Friday afternoon show. We got to be talking about fashion. I don't care where you're listening. We got people listening to us throughout the country, all over the place, and it's we got to know what to wear. We got to know how to look proper. If we got a bachelor party, bachelorette party. Birthday party, just taking the significant other out on a date tonight or this weekend. I said, you know what? We got to get Lala on from Ephoria to kick off this Friday afternoon show. So I appreciate you coming on board with us today via phone. Looking forward to having you in the studio here soon, too, as well. But let's get it kicked off. So welcome to the show, Lala, Ephoria Clothing Brand, Studio 110.live. Lala and I have known each other for some time. In fact, you allowed me to do something pretty darn cool. You had this really cool TV pilot commercial filmed, and
Yeah,
you utilized myself, and you put me in that Lamborghini, and you put me on that rooftop, and we really shot a cool pilot for your brand.
yeah, we did. We got you in the McLaren that we had. A couple friends of ours came through really nicely on some really great pieces. We had a McLaren. We had a great location downtown, in one of the nice, apartment buildings up at the top, looking over the waterfront. You could see the Ferris wheel, the water. Everything was beautiful. Vitamin D was actually there, and of course we had the film crew coming out from Platinum Rain. Which was great. Those guys came through amazing. The clothing looked good. You made us look really great. So hey, really, our thanks is to you.
Well, I appreciate that, and shout out to Vitamin D. He was actually on the air with me this week, and man, that guy's got his plate full. He's working with a whole bunch of artists out here from the Northwest, and man, just doing what he does so well, and just getting the Northwest here on the map where it needs to be, on a respected level.
Absolutely. He actually, does a lot of stuff for us as well, whether it's, commercial music, anything that we absolutely need. He's always come through for us. So we were always in support of other people here in the community here in Seattle. So community is always really important to us here, especially for Euphoria. A lot of the people that we work with is community based. So whether it's somebody that we use for our branding, for music, for film, for video. Shout out to Notebook. He does a lot of work for us as well. So it does do a lot here, but we want to make sure instead of outsourcing so much from other places, we like to keep it in our backyard.
There you go, and let's get this kicked off here and really get into it because I'm super excited to know and hear where the Euphoria clothing brand is right now, and ultimately where it's going to become and get to. So, with that being said, let's kind of talk about how the Euphoria brand came into play. I know it's been out. It's been out for a while now, but talk about how you just kind of, had the proper mentality to kick off the brand and all the ingredients that you ultimately put into it.
Yeah, absolutely. We started back in 2012. Rich Mathena and I, Rich is like my brother. We do a lot of things together, and we actually sat down. We wanted to start something that was going to be clean, consistent, something that was going to have some longevity. Instead of just having a bunch of pieces from here and there, we wanted to make sure that it had consistency, and that was the most important thing. Obviously, we're not the most flashiest, city in the world, but lifestyle is a very big, important part to that. Especially being young professionals, young entrepreneurs, we wanted to make sure that what you wear is going to be something that you're going to wear lifestyle, whether you're going out, whether it's at the gym, whether it's every day, but keeping the colors consistent and whatnot. So we wanted to do something different. So we did. So everything that we had, we started out with snapbacks, of course, snapback hats. From there, we went from t-shirts. From t-shirts, we ended up going into button-ups. From button-ups, we went into jackets with different pieces of hardware, anything from accessories, which we have, bracelets to lapel pins, going into from there, it just kind of started to expand. So when we started, like anybody else, in kind of like the basement, startup. From there, it just kind of groomed and we groomed it to grow in something completely different. We started adding new people to it. We brought in a few other people, Claire Thornhill, Cleveland Steele as well. And from there, we just continued to grow. Everybody had their great parts in helping brand. Everybody had their niche in what it is that we do in order to make this a really good, well-oiled organization and business. And that was really, really important. We all have our strengths, and that came in really key with everything that we were doing going forward. And so from there, we expanded. We ended up going to New York and got into some boutiques there. We also were able to do pop-up shops there. We actually started getting more branding with our dog line, which is my dog, Rakim. You'll see him on the site there. Famous little guy. Ended up getting into the hands of Angela Simmons, to Kay Triggs, to 808 Mafia, to larger people like that. Tony Shellman actually ended up championing us for a while as well. We're still in contact with that because we're actually doing a brand for him, the Tony Shellman brand, of course, with Ephoria, which is going to be our golf shirt, which is going to be in the Black PGA hopefully this year. So it's been a big push. We actually did a big show actually at the Seattle Art Museum for a big launch for him because it was a big collaboration. So our marketing company, Salusa TV, came out from New York. We did a lot of work with them. It's been super amazing. And from there, we ended up getting a shop in South Center Mall. It's not our own, but we were part of it, called Ephoria Clothing. And those guys have been awesome. And now we're going into Linwood. So we're slowly moving. As we're doing that, we're expanding the brand and actually changing a few things. So you'll be seeing some really great new summer, spring pieces coming up here pretty soon.
Well, that makes me just so happy to hear overall, because, just getting another, up and coming emerging clothing brand, originating out here from the 206, with your footsteps, and of course, Claire, and, my guy, Tony Shellman. Tony Shellman and I have been friends for so many years. I knew Tony when he was, back in the Mecca circle, and he was actually on the air with me. He was on the air with me actually this past week. So,
really?
Yeah, Tony was on the air with me, man. Nothing but love for Tony Shellman and respect. I mean, if there's one guy that knows how to do it on the fashion tip in New York, I mean, the guy's working with T.I., he's worked with so many different celebrities. He is the guy.
Yeah.
He is the guy. If you have the proper resources to be able to get in contact with Tony Shellman, you are definitely in good traction. So
absolutely. Yeah, he's been a definite blessing in some of the steps that we've taken, and helped groomed us into something a little bit better, clean, more streamlined, and definitely extremely motivated to continue forward. So we're really happy with that. Communication and obviously relationship.
Yeah, and if you're just tuning into the big show right now, Studio 110.live, Dirty Harry back at it, like I do, with my friend Lala from the Ephoria Clothing Brand on the line with me. We are live on there, and the thing I got to say, Lala, about you and Ephoria is, you're a prime example of a brand where you're not necessarily having to spend all the time and resources and energy to be able to really tap in and really figure out what people want in this marketplace. When you invited me to your most recent retail location out there at Westfield Town, South Center.
Yeah, Westfield. Yeah.
I still call it South Center Mall. I know you have to call it.
I know, I do too.
I know you have to call it like 14 names now, but I just call it South Center Mall.
Westfield Mall, South Center Mall, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So you had like a really nice button-up shirt in there. I remember it had like some purple and different colors, and it was on your back wall of the store. And it's like the first thing that I saw when I walked in the door, and I said, I bet you anything that's one of Lala's pieces. Because you know the demographics, the appeal that people are looking for when they go to the mall, whether they're trying to buy a button-up or an outfit to be able to go out, for the weekend or do whatever they do. So you've been able to tap into the market so well. With that being said, the current line on shelves right now locally, let's talk about some of the pieces right now that are available.
Okay, well, the pieces right now that are available, of course, we do still have our button-ups. We actually have a really great jersey knit button-up that we have. It's actually a button-up, and it's a jersey knit, so it's very comfortable. It's not anything that's going to be restrictive. It's very comfortable. It has a little bit of plaid in it, a little bit of, touch of burgundy. On top of that, we do have our splatter shirts. We will always carry our A-line sweaters, of course, very clean, very different colors, grays. Of course, we always keep with the grays and the light colors. Of course, we'll always have black because it is the Northwest. And of course, we're going more into the navy blues, whites, into the army greens and whatnot, just keeping in the staples of colors that we know will always be consistent. And that's super important. Always have a splash of color, of course. We always have some turquoises and whatnot. We also have dad hats that are now available as well. Of course, those are a big piece at those right now as well, and those are kind of sounding like hotcakes. We also just came out with our own socks, so we actually have some really great socks available as well. Shorts are coming out this month as well. So there's a lot of things, joggers and whatnot. So, new tank tops, everything that, again, we're going back and forth between something that you can go out in and something you can go to the gym in and something every day. So it's always, everything that we have is a European cut. So you'll always have something that's going to fit you. So we have everything from smalls all the way up to triple XL, because we know we do have some big guys out there, and they did get on me. They're like, come on, Lala, you got to have something for us too. So I made sure that I kept that in mind.
Well, you gotta have the Seahawks players, dipped in Ephoria clothing when they're walking in and out of the locker room when we're in the projected mindset when it's Seahawks season out here. So that's definitely
Absolutely.
an important
Yep.
traction to put in place. If you had to kind of narrow it down to your top 3 or top 5 classic fits that are just selling off the rounder left and right that you're just having to constantly restock for the stores, what would those items be?
Actually, those are our dad hats right now. Our dad hats, our socks, our sweaters, our inline sweaters, and our hoodies, of course, are always our big sellers. The new shirts that are coming out right now, you're going to see those. Those are really hot. We already have orders out for them right now. But you'll be seeing those. If you log on to euphoriathebrand.com and you put your email in, we're going to send you a discount code. The discount code is going to be able to give you something and an insight to some pieces that you won't see right now on the site. So these are going to be exclusive for people that go onto the site and are able to see this. So it's kind of like a sneak peek and an early order for people. Obviously, going with the Seahawk colors. I don't want to give too much of the tidbit because you got to see it.
Well, there you go. And hopefully, maybe I'll have the opportunity to be your model. I mean, not that I'm a model in any way, shape, or form, but maybe you'll be able to utilize me to maybe we can do like a live fashion show here on the air in the studio. Can you imagine that? And get a couple gals in here wearing Ephoria clothing, do it live on the air, maybe do some giveaways, and we've got cameras in here so everybody can watch us, and I think it could be a great event, Lala.
I think you're right. We actually just launched our women's line, which is called We by Ephoria. So you're going to see some women's line finally coming out. Trust me, my ladies have been yelling at me. So trust me, I have you now in mind and on and ready. So absolutely, if you want to do that, let's collaborate.
No, absolutely. Let's get that on the show calendar. I'll let the team know to put that into product placement, and that's absolutely at its finest. What advice, Lala, would you give? Because there's a lot of designers out there that a lot of them are successful. Some of them are just still going to school to be able to put out their first sample version of their item, whether it's a button up or a jacket or whatever it consists of for the allowed the full kind of full circumference that they're building out for their personal line. With that being said, what advice would you give to an up and coming fashion designer that's trying to be able to build a forefront like you ultimately trying to continue to build with Ephoria?
Actually, that's a great question. I just had a friend of mine, Endurance, from creator of Cool. You'll see him around. He's one of the fashion bloggers in Seattle, part of the Seattle Gents. Really great guy. He's actually we've helped each other out quite a lot in that department. We had this conversation because he was on a panel, and it was something that was really, really important to know. Like, what is it that you need to know when you do that? What is it that you're going for? Only thing I can honestly tell anybody that's starting this, make sure that you're super, you know who you are, and you know what's going to set you apart from other people. What you bring out, make sure that what it is something that you believe in, but also that's something that's going to set you apart from others, because that's going to be the big thing. If anything I can tell anybody out there, you have to grind. It's not something that's going to happen overnight, or you can sit on. If you really want this, it's an everyday grind, every day, everything. Marketing is important, all of that. So just keep those things in mind. Absolutely.
And what are some brands locally and nationally that you've got kind of some traction, that you've got your pulse on to current play right now?
Curator of what's it called? Cultivation of Cool is one of those. Cool is always coming up with some really cool things, of course. There's a couple other ones too out of New York. I can't think of them right off the top of my head, but I'm telling you, there's some really, really fresh ones coming out the grind right now.
And what do you feel like we're lacking, with me being a Seattle East Side based national show here, just speaking about the Northwest, but we can also add on just to, on a national projection here. What do you feel like we're lacking in the fashion business currently?
A little bit of edge, most definitely, but something that's going to be consistent with where we're at. Obviously, we're a more conservative, town. As much as people we try to pretend that we're not, we are. We do have that consistency, unfortunately, but you have to be able to have something that has an edge, that you can still do those things, and it's super important.
Yeah, and that's what I'm always telling my friends too. Like you gotta, like, I understand for a lot of people you are going out of your comfort bubble to a degree, but that's what people want to see. They do want to see that edginess, just that kind of more that raw look going into play. Maybe it's maybe it's a funky sophisticated blazer with a fun hoodie, under it.
Right. It's just statement pieces. Honestly, you get a couple of good statement pieces, and you start to find those pieces that can go with pretty much anything. Those statement pieces are the pieces that are gonna, again, that's what you want to look for. Those pieces that set you, apart from other people.
Yep.
You don't want to look like everybody else with the same blazer and the same button up and the same, color wave all the time. And you could do that, but you need those statement pieces, and that's what we're known for, those statement pieces, especially when we have our button ups that are completely different. You're not going to see those anywhere. You'll never see them anywhere in Seattle. That's part of the reason why we keep those, so quiet. And when we release them because we want to make sure that, one, you can see them with everything that you wear, whether it's, you can wear the button up with a pair of slacks, with a pair of jeans, with a pair of shorts. If you want to throw a blazer on it, you can. T-shirts that you can wear, like I said, at the gym. If you want to like layer it up with a blazer, you can do that as well. But it's clean, but yet it has that slight edge that's going to separate you. That's super important.
So if you could have the opportunity to do a collaboration, speaking of fashion, with any designer out there, anywhere in the world, what designer, if you could, team up ultimately with one designer of choice, who would that designer be to be able to do a collaboration with?
Tory Design is one of my favorites, actually, out in New York. He's a leather designer. He does a lot of stuff for Busta Rhymes, Swiss Beats, and whatnot. He's the most inspirational guy I met when I was out there. His pieces, again, like me, I love those statement pieces, but just the way that he comes up with them is just amazing. So it's always something that you can't help but look at what he has coming, and you're always wanting more.
Yep, and keep your track and keep your pulse, with all the shows that you have to go down to represent your brand. But you know what I want to see? I want to see a brand put out a fire engine, and you're gonna laugh because you and I have talked about this for years. But I want to see a fire engine red. Just the body of the jacket with some real sophisticated, top-notch hardware. I want the body of the jacket.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yep. I want a fire engine red body, so that I want the body of the jacket to be red leather, and then I want the sleeves to be black. So I just know, like, believe me, there's enough people out there that would feel comfortable to be able to rock that to, like, an stadium or to any of the venues out here locally, and
absolutely,
and all eyes would be on them. So.
Yep, absolutely. I completely agree with that. A lot of people out here in Seattle, I mean, we've got some, sneaker snobs out here, definitely. And if you had something that would be able to, obviously complement what you have on your feet with a jacket like that, absolutely. That's part of the reason why I like Tory, though. You might want to look at him. He's got some amazing pieces. Anything that you've ever seen, honestly, that like at any of the award shows, the music award shows with like a, fairly, big names as far as like leather goods go that are wearing those, most of those will come from him. So that's what I'm saying. Like, he does the most amazing work. He gets crazy hardware that you won't see, or he'll have it made. He works out of this small shop, but he's so, oh my gosh, he's just amazing.
Good.
Just amazing.
And what are some ways that people can purchase? Give me kind of the rundown for people to be able ultimately be able to go online and purchase Ephoria clothing.
Yeah, you can go to euphoriathebrand.com, so www.euphoriathebrand.com. You can also go to, obviously, Ephoria Clothing on Instagram. If you see something there, we always post a few things there as well. You're more than welcome to go ahead and click on there. We also do send out, if you want to hit us up in a message, we will definitely send you out a discount code with some little secret stuff in there. So take a look at those. We're coming up with some really great marketing ideas as far as what we're doing to really get some people really excited for this coming summer.
Awesome, Lala. I want to thank you for your time to being on the air with me today, and look forward to having you in the studio here to talk more. Tell Claire I said hello about
I shall.
the Ephoria Clothing Brand, a very nice artistic brand straight out of the Northwest here. What are some ways that people can contact you? Not obviously we're not going to give out people's phone numbers, but are there social avenues or website placements?
Oh yeah.
Go ahead and give me those.
Like I said, it's the same thing. Just euphoriathebrand.com, Ephoria Clothing on Instagram, Ephoria Clothing on Twitter, social media, same everything. All the social medias are pretty much the same. They're all located underneath our information there, so you can just go ahead and just click it, and it'll go right to it.
Well, I want to thank you again for your time. Looking forward to keeping in contact, and I want to come down to wherever the distribution center is, or the showroom, or wherever I need to come and see some of the new pieces, so I can be one of the first to wear them and get them up on the social and talk about them on the air for you guys. So I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're actually got a new little office coming up here pretty soon in Georgetown. So I have to invite you down when it's ready.
There you go. Lala from the Ephoria Clothing Brand. Thank you for joining us here at Studio 110.live. We'll be in contact soon. Thank you.
You got it. Thank you.
That was Lala, Ephoria Clothing Brand. And there's just so many amazing fashion designers that are really doing it out here. From, man, we've got so many on the air, too. We got Casual Industries. We got Ephoria Clothing. We got the Oi brand. There's so many more, and I don't want to forget anyone else. And if I forgot you, then my apologies. But it's a busy show, lots of guests. And you got to be, you just got to be in the spur of the moment. So that's the spur of the moment for me, just giving kind of the